After a comeback victory in his first NFL start, Josh Freeman looks like the new face of the Buccaneer franchise. Meanwhile, the Dolphins rely on the strong arm of the other Chad Henne, to lead them back to the playoffs. And we're live from Landshark Stadium, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Miami Dolphins. And welcome to the booth, everyone. Ron Pitts, along with longtime Buccaneer John Lynch. And John, we talk about the Miami Dolphins at 3-5. They had a rough start, played against some very good teams, some good quarterbacks, and everybody is kind of slamming the Wildcat offense. They're not getting pressure on defense. All that being said, they're still alive, still have a shot for the playoffs. But if they're going to get there, they have to go on that run they went on last year when they won 9 of the last 10 games.
Well, they've got to go right now, and they hope to draw on that experience. Remember, they started last year 2-4, ended up an 11-5 football team. Coach Tony Sparano says we are what our record says we are, a 3-5 football team. But that being said, they've done a number of things very well. They've run the ball well. They've defended the run very well. The problem has been in the past in the explosion plays. Offensively, they've lacked them. Defensively, they've given them up. The pass rush needs to come into case for today for Miami. Joey Porter will be out, a coach's decision.
We'll talk more on that as the game develops for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They finally got that first big win of the season last week. But you look at their situation, and in that win, I think maybe they found a new guy. I'm talking about Josh Freeman. They stepped into the future, and John, I don't know, I haven't seen this type of excitement around the team in a long time.
Well, he certainly has brought a lot of hope to Tampa Bay, that football team, that city, that franchise, and he's done it with a skill set that's just awesome. He's big. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. He's elusive. He can get away from the rush, and when he gets away from the rush, he makes great plays downfield on the run. He has an incredible amount of poise. Most importantly, his teammates believe in him. We'll see if he can bring it on the road here today.
Absolutely. We'll be back with this from the Verizon Football Zone.
Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to Landshark Stadium. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, and introducing the third member of our crew. Let's go down to her right now, Laura Open. Laura, how are you?
Hi, Ron. Thank you. We've got 2 young quarterbacks today, but both coaches agree the key to this one is going to be special teams, and it has the potential to be pretty special. Ted Ginn Jr., off his 100 and 100-yard return, leads the league in kickoff return yardage, while Clifton Smith, the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, ranks 3rd. I asked the Bucs special teams coach, Rich Bisaccia, do you plan on kicking to Ginn? His answer, if we do, and he does something big, we didn't mean to. Guys?
Yeah, that's usually the way it works. Well, we'll see right off the top. The Dolphins will kick it away. The Bucs receive. Clifton Smith, 3rd in the NFL in kickoff returns, but the entire Bucs unit, they are number 1 in the NFL in kickoff returns. He had a big 83-yard return last week that really kind of sparked, John, the comeback victory.
He did. He's an explosive player, great as a kick returner, great as a punt returner. They like getting this guy on the field in offense as well.
Don Carpenter gets us going. Short kick taken at the 10 by Smith. An immediate hit. He gets away from that. There goes Smith. Clifton Smith knocked out of bounds by the kicker, along with Nate Jones. 36 yards on the return. He lives up to the billing to start the game. And the Buccaneers have gone through changes at quarterback. Byron Leftwich started the season. Things didn't work out. He started the first 3 weeks, and they went to Josh Johnson. He went 0 for 4. A couple pick sixes will get you on the pine. Enter Josh Freeman. He comes in last week. My partner, John Lynch, has lobbied for him, finally got him in the mix. A great comeback victory. And the first victory for the team this season. 1st and 10. That's Cadillac Williams, and Williams hit hard. Kendall Langford, a pickup of 3. The starting lineups for the Buccaneers. They'll go with Williams and Graham in the backfield. Clayton Stovall. Kellen Winslow, the leading receiver, leads the team in touchdowns. He has had a resurgence after coming here in a trade from Cleveland in '99. Excuse me, '09. 2nd down, 7. In trouble. Somehow Freeman got away. A marker goes down. We'll check in with the first call of the day by Tony Corrente, our referee.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 56. 15-yard penalty to be assessed from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's the linebacker, Charlie Anderson, and Anderson is filling in for Joey Porter, who was declared inactive due to a coach's decision today.
And Ron, right away, we see the strength of Josh Freeman. He's got Jason Taylor, all these guys all over him, and he is incredibly strong and big quarterback, and he just does a great job of just kind of pushing guys off him, extending the play. Tony Sperano said he's got a little Tony Romo in with his ability to extend the play and make plays downfield in the passing game.
The 1st and 10 give to Ward after the penalty for a couple. The Dolphins defense, they'll run a 3-4, as we already mentioned. They'll be without Joey Porter. Porter, as we talked to him on Friday, he was set to go. All of a sudden Saturday we get a call saying he has been deactivated and has nothing to do with an injury. He was battling a knee injury for the last few weeks.
And I think it might be a good thing for these Bucs because, Ron, I don't know about you, he seemed ready to play after a tough week last week versus New England.
2 tight end set. Williams is hit hard coming up from the safety spot. The ball is loose. I think they blow it dead. Jabril Wilson, the second leading tackler on the team, came up fast and hard.
And this run game has been somewhat of a frustration for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer football team. You studied them this year. If people felt that the offensive line would be one of their strengths, they've missed left guard Aaron Sears, who in many people's eyes was their best offensive lineman. They just haven't put together that running game. With 2 backs like Cadillac Williams and Derek Ward, it should be a strength of your team.
3rd and 6. Marker goes down. Came from the secondary.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Delay a game penalty.
You know, when we talk about can Josh Freeman bring this show on the road, you have to deal with different situations as a young quarterback on the road, as any quarterback. The crowd noise, all of a sudden he's in Tampa, they're quiet. It comes 3rd down, this Miami crowd gets going, delay a game early in the game. He started nervous last week with some mistakes, but he picked it up. We'll see if he can do that today.
3rd and 11, he'll go from the gun. Handoff to Williams. Williams pounds ahead. He's going to be about 2 yards shy. Shannon Crowder is there for the initial stop. And that'll bring up 4th down, and they'll bring on Connor Barth. This will be a 51-yard attempt. Barth, the 3rd kicker for the Buccaneers. He was actually cut by the Dolphins in training camp this season, signed just 2 weeks ago. He hit from 54 in pregame warmups. It's good. Came out low, but he had plenty of legs. So after the great return by Smith, the Buccaneers draw first blood.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on.
The 8th regular season meeting between these two teams. The series locked 4-4. A nice job of getting points on the drive after the great return. Barth will kick it away. Ted Ginn Jr., the leading kick returner in the NFL, will get us going. Looking outside. Buccaneers do a nice job of spreading it out. That's Graham hustling down, pushing him out of bounds. Chad Henne and the offense coming up.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light, the difference is drinkability.
Dolphins head coach Tony Sperano took over a 1-15 team last year and took it to 11-5, won the division. They went on that 9-game win streak in the end. They're going to have to do it this year to get back in the playoffs. They're looking deep, and they go deep. just over the reach of Ted Ginn Jr. Rondé Barber on the coverage. Ginn Jr. has not started the last 2 weeks, and they said they're going to get some big plays going.
You know what? And the fans are booing Ted Ginn right now because they felt he should have had that. It was a nice throw by Chad Henne. He did have an opportunity to catch that football,
Sure
but
did.
I tell you what, Ron, just doing that, they have not done enough of that as an offense. You need to stretch the defense at times. I think it's a good move to put Ted Ginn in after sitting him for a couple days and take that shot. That will loosen up this Tampa Bay defense.
So the 2nd and 10 give, that's Ronnie Brown. We'll definitely see some wildcat, and we'll see what we call pistol, which brings Pat White in at the quarterback spot. Henning 3-2 as a starter. The Dolphins averaging 30 points a game since Henning became the starter.
And a key loss at the offensive line, Justin Smiley, their left guard, who in my mind has been their best offensive lineman this year, is out with a shoulder injury.
And Ronnie Brown with that carry goes over the 4,000-yard career rush mark. 3rd and 7. Caught inside. It looks to be enough for the first down. We'll see how they mark the progress. That's Greg Camarillo. Camarillo coming into the game with 25 catches, 5 catches last week against New England. That is a Dolphin first down.
And for Greg Camarillo this year, he's 11 for 11 now on 3rd down conversions. Very good 3rd down receiver along with Devon Bess. The Miami offense under Dan Henning has had a history on 3rd down. They're going to max pro. They're going to protect Chad Henne, go with 3-man routes. Right there, they convert early.
Wildcat, Ronnie Brown at the quarterback spot. Henning at the bottom of your screen, stays in the game at quarterback. Sweep right, all Brown, makes a cut. He'll pick up close to 5. And John, tell us more about how this Wildcat offense works.
Well, it's pretty special. As we've heard from Barrett Ruud, the defensive linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for some people they just throw it out there. For these Miami Dolphins, it's part of their offense. You see, it's a way to get both Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown, what they call their studs, on the field. And then, number 2, it allows you to get hats on hats. We always hear about the 8th guy in the box, the free guy. All of a sudden, this Wildcat, Miami's got more blockers than they have defenders. It's been extremely effective. They've struggled the last couple weeks, but they feel they have an answer. We'll see if they do today.
They stay in it. They go with Brown again. Nice move in the backfield. There goes Ronnie Brown. Ruud chasing. Finally driven out of bounds by Aqib Talib, but an outstanding run. 45 yards for Ronnie Brown.
But if you're looking for an answer, it's give it to Ronnie Brown. You're going to see Savvy Piscatelli come up. They're going to fake the run to the right, come back to the left, and then it's just Ronnie Brown with this incredible athleticism, breaking a couple tackles on Piscatelli and then Quincy Black. And once you get him out in the open, he's tough to deal with.
Brown out. Ricky Williams checks in. Williams with a cut. And a nice play coming up there. Linebacker Geno Hayes. Williams got 2.
You talk about that Wildcat offense through this season. Early on, a ton of success. First 5 weeks averaging 7.2 yards per play. The last 3 weeks, New Orleans, Greg Williams, their defensive coordinator, brought some things that gave them problems. New England and the New York Jets have kind of implemented those same things down to 1.5. Today they get it going. Tony Sperano told us in our meeting, we've got some answers, and early on they certainly do.
Full house. Williams and Brown in the backfield. To give inside to Brown. So many options. Talking to Barrett Ruud last night, he just said this reminds me of old Nebraska option football.
Yeah, you know, and with this Wildcat, and Dan Henning's offense, so many looks, they're a preparation nightmare. Look at this, 3 backs, 1, 2, 3 different looks in every, you try to prepare for this team, so many different looks. You put Ronnie Brown all of a sudden at fullback, give it to him, so many different ways in which they can beat you.
There's a look at Dan Henning, offensive coordinator. 3rd and 4. Henning on the roll near the goal line. I think they're going to be short. That's Camarillo. Pushed out of bounds at about the 1-yard line.
Ron, when you study these Miami Dolphins, you think of Chad Henne as a big pocket passer. They probably move him as much as anyone in the league, particularly on third down. He said it's really in response to the pressure people have been bringing on him. He throws well on the run. Again, Camarillo on a big third down conversion. That's 2 on the day. Miami Dolphins putting together a nice drive.
And that's the first down, 1st and goal. Brown is in for the Dolphin touchdown. Ronnie Brown, his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. He's led the team in rushing the last 4 seasons. And as we've said, the sputtering Wildcat offense doesn't look like it sputtered much on that drive. Blocked. Barber came around the corner and got a piece of it. And I'll tee it up. I know it's a cliche, but that will come back to haunt him later on, most likely.
That's all Rondé Barber does is make plays.
Make plays. 6-3 Dolphins.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ford, inviting you to drive one. By Yellow Book, the moment you need it, Yellow Book it. And by FedEx, we understand your business could use a Dick Butkus pep talk.
We take another look at the touchdown. Your left guard, Justin Smiley, your best puller's out. What do? You go to your next best, and they pull Jake Long, the left tackle. He comes around, clears the hole, and Ronnie Brown gets in and rides him in. And now on this block, I think I've seen him make so many plays, I assume it's Rondé Barber. It's Donald Penn right there, the left tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming in making a big play.
9-play, 77-yard drive, a touchdown. They fail on the extra point. And Smith pours it up in there, gets out to the 25-yard line. Wildcat looking good early. 3-point game. I guess the Wildcat offense is healthy. 2 carries, 50 yards on it. Of course, that's helped out by that 45-yard run. But Ronnie Brown getting it going early here against the Buccaneers. Williams, who played alongside Ronnie Brown at Auburn University, gets a couple. Anderson there for the tackle. Raheem Morris got his first win last week as head coach of the Buccaneers. He said that pressure isn't off after the win. I just don't go to work with that knot in my stomach anymore.
Yeah, that knot in his stomach. One of the quotes he said, too, is losing doesn't build character, it reveals it. Okay, I've heard that, but he added, but everything else about it sucks. So he was happy to get that win, and this whole team, but they know that they got to string some wins together. They really look at this as a new season now under Josh Freeman.
No yards on that last play. 2nd and 10. Goes backside up the seam, and it's knocked away. Looking for Clayton, and it's knocked away there. Jabril Wilson in the area. Let's go out to Los Angeles. First game break of the day, Kurt Menefee.
And the first touchdown of the day for the Carolina Panthers, set up by this Jake Delhomme to Steve Smith hookup. 19 yards to the 1. Jonathan Stewart took it in from there, and Carolina leads the Falcons 7-3 in the first quarter. Ron and John.
All right, Kurt, thank you. Third and 10. Pressure. Throws. It's caught. Is it inbounds? Yes, very close to the first down marker. Looks to be about a yard shy. That's Maurice Stovall. And it is going to be shy, and they'll bring on the punt team.
Excuse me, Ron. You had a feeling that Miami was going to bring the heat on this young quarterback. They felt like Green Bay didn't. You see Jason Taylor coming off the edge, putting the pressure on Josh Freeman, and they stop him just short of the first down. Last week, they felt like they brought enough pressure against New England. They didn't win their one-on-one matchups. Good sign for Miami right there. Jason Taylor winning his one-on-one.
Devon Bess is back deep to receive the Dirk Johnson punt. Nice kick. Drop. Bess picks it up, and that's always trouble. He'll have to sit on it at about the 12-yard line. Great punt by Johnson, 54 yards. He came in averaging 41. And that'll be great field position for the Bucs defense. Dolphins offense when we come back, 6-3. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, Laura Oakman back here. The Dolphins holding on to a 3-point lead. They botched the extra point. Actually, the extra point blocked. Donald Penn got a piece of that ball. But the Wildcat offense in the first series was big. 99 yards total on it. That's Ricky Williams. Well, coming up, it's a huge doubleheader in the big second game. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Headed your way right here on Fox. The Dallas Cowboys experiencing a resurgence like they usually do. Things start off choppy, they get it going. The Green Bay Packers are nicked up. Aaron Campman on the shelf with injuries. A lot of injuries throughout the team, in danger of losing 3 in a row. 2nd and 7. Play action. Look middle of the field, then went back outside. Threw it late. That's Joey Haynes. He is starting today for the injury, or with the injury to Anthony Fasano. Hayes on the tackle.
You look at Chad Henne as he drops. Beautiful protection by these Miami Dolphins. He's got all day to throw. What happened right there, as you look at the coverage, these corners are squat and run, and that's why they need to continue to take those deep shots to loosen up the D. When you study these Miami Dolphins, the last couple games, they've realized they don't take enough shots downfield as a defense. Those corners are squatting at 10, 12 yards, and until you complete some downfield, they're going to continue to do so.
A pickup of 2, 3rd and 5. 4-man pressure. Doesn't get there. High throw. And a drop by Devon Bess. Unlike Ted Ginn Jr.'s throw, that one a little tougher catch. The drops have plagued the Dolphin receivers throughout the season. That'll bring up 4th down in time to punt.
And that's one Chad Henne's going to wish he had back. Devon Bess had a step on Aqib Talib, and I think he tried to put that on a line rather than just loft it a little bit. He's wishing he had that one back.
Clifton Smith back deep. Brandon Fields sporting a 45-yard average, gets that one off the side of the foot. It's taken by the short man. Looked like Rondé Barber scooped it up. It'll be great field position. A look at Josh Freeman from last week. Stood tall in the pocket early, stuttered a little bit, but he did stand and deliver. Got it going late, was able to extend the play here, the touchdown to Kellen Winslow Jr. And then under pressure, 4th quarter, the comeback, he finds Sammy Stroughter in the end zone for the touch.
Yeah, you talk about poise. That last one, that last play was a 4th and 4 with the game on the line, down 5 with 4 minutes left. And he's just cool as can be. That's what they love about him. And when you sit down with him, you realize he's not fazed by all this pressure. He loves playing football.
Play action award. Graham alone in the flat area, lowers his shoulder and tries to truck a man. That's Jabril Wilson. He let Jabril Wilson know there's going to be no dodging here. 16 yards and a first.
We just saw a play, a touchdown to Kellen Winslow last week. Now all of a sudden you're going to fake right. Very few quarterbacks throw well going to their left on the run in the National Football League. This is something Josh Freeman does extremely well, and that presents a ton of challenges. Sometimes defensive linemen will try to take a side away from a scrambling quarterback. They can't with Josh Freeman because he
fumble.
throws.
Loose ball. Oh, and they've got some extracurricular going on, and it's Dolphins ball. Aiken Adell comes up with it. Clearly, Freeman fumbled the snap.
You talk about all the great things that Josh Freeman's doing. He's making some mistakes too. He did this last week against Green Bay. And yes, the quarterback center exchange should be simple, should be easy. It's a challenge. Jeff Fain, you think about it, he's had 3 quarterbacks. He drops that snap, and Aiken Adell goes in there and gets it.
Matt Roth and Kellen Winslow Jr. going at it. Well, there was more going on after that play than during the play. See the fumbles lost there. So the Dolphins take over. The throwback, Henne. He's looking deep, can't get rid of it. And a great play in the backfield by Geno Hayes, because Henne had a man wide open. That was Ginn Jr. was running down the field. Looked as though he had a step on the defender.
Did look as if he stepped. They're going to toss left. Henne's going to come back out to the right. They're going to throw back, and Ted Ginn up here, you're going to see him go deep. And Aqib Talib running right with him, but that play was really made by Geno Hayes. Geno Hayes isn't there. Chad Henne takes a shot, and Ted Ginn did have a step on Aqib Talib. Beautiful play by Geno Hayes.
The handoff inside to Brown. Brown chopped down quickly by the team's leading tackler, over 100 coming into today's game, Barrett Ruud. Let's go out to Los Angeles for this update with Kurt Menefee.
Well, a good day to have Brandon Marshall on your fantasy team. Heck, a good quarter. This pass from Kyle Orton goes 75 yards for the score. How could he not catch that one? He already had a 40-yard touchdown earlier. 2 touchdowns, 115 yards on just 2 receptions, and a 14-7 Denver lead. Ron and John.
Denver trying to bounce back after losing 2. That bye was not good for them, John.
Yeah, like these Miami Dolphins, everybody's been saying, where's the big play in the passing game? Well, they found it. Throw it to Brandon Marshall.
3rd and 9. Holding the ball, then finally lets it go, and it's incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
That's coverage pressure. You can see Torrey Cox, Rondé Barber in the slot, Barrett Ruud on the tight end. There's nowhere to throw for Chad Henne. Aqib Talib one-on-one on Ted Ginn, taking away all the options. The pressure needs to get there. Tim Crowder and Chris Hovan do a good job of pressuring. Beautiful execution for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense.
Fields, a better punt this time out. Smith, a cut, and a decent return up past the 30-yard line. Well, weekdays makes lunchtime your new prime time, as FoxSports.com brings you lunch with benefits. Log on to check out new episodes of original sports shows delivered to your desktop every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, don't miss the after party with Jay Glazer, where he'll chat it up with all of today's biggest performers, only at FoxSports.com on MSN. And a look at Coach Speak with Brian Billick. It's Tuesday, 1 p.m. on FoxSports.com. His guest, John Fox, Mike McCarthy, Wade Phillips. He gets all the coaches, as you would expect, although some do cancel at the last minute, depending on how they did the week prior. Jeremy Stevens. And Stevens with a nice play. Pick up a 15.
You look at Josh Freeman, we talked about the mistakes. Sometimes he's going to hold the football too long, as he does here against the Green Bay Packers. Sometimes he's going to simply drop the snap, as he just did here for a turnover. And Josh, you're not at Kansas State anymore right there. They can, you know, they read your eyes in this league. He's going to have his mistakes. You need to have patience with him, but he brings so much to the table. I think you have to play him.
1st and 10, bounce out run. Ward trying to get outside. Nothing there. Nice play. A marker goes down. That's Vontae Davis, the 1st-round pick out of Illinois, coming up with the hit. Here's Tony Corrente.
Holding, offense number 87. 10-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
That's Brian Clark. You know, John, talking to Raheem Morris last night, he said there's 3 things that a quarterback has to do. He's got to be great on 3rd down, good in the red zone, and good in a comeback mode. And in spite of how Freeman started last week, he was able to be good in those 3 areas, especially the comeback mode.
Absolutely. And, you know, when you have a quarterback that you always feel like you can win with, it does a heck of a lot for a team's confidence.
Play action, looking deep, nothing there. He's holding it. Here comes pressure. Ball is loose. Still a loose ball, and it looks as though it's recovered by Tampa Bay. 2 big plays on the day now for Donald Penn.
Recovered by Tampa Bay, number 70. 2nd down.
Charlie Anderson knocked the ball away. Penn is able to get on it. He's already blocked an extra point.
Charlie Anderson right here is going to be blocked by Donald Penn. But he's getting his first start. He's going to make the most out of it. He flies out of the screen. Good hustle play by Charlie Anderson, going for the strip fumble. And Donald Penn and the Buccaneers very fortunate to fall on that football.
That is the end of the quarter. 6-3. Dolphins. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from the local Fox station. We start the second quarter. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, Laura Oakman down on the sideline. 6-3 Dolphins. 2nd and 15. Movement. Jason Taylor says the tight end, Kellen Winslow.
False start. Offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
And he was right. It is against Winslow. They'll back up. A look at the penalties last week for the Buccaneers. And they've already beat that total today. Pressure, screen, and it's tipped. Jason Taylor coming around the corner and tipping the ball. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, and John, we talk about the Buccaneers and the new energy that Freeman has brought to the team. And you watch him play. First of all, he comes into the meeting room yesterday, and he's huge, 6'6", but he's got a little something about him, though. Yeah,
he certainly does. And right now, he's playing a little nervous. He did this last week. He started slow. He was able to overcome that. The Miami Dolphins defense right now, they talked about it was so critical to bring pressure. They're getting it right now, and they're getting to Josh Freeman, putting him in a tough 3rd down situation right here.
Funny how they like to blitz those rookie quarterbacks. He'll get some here, 3rd and 20. They hand it off. Ward with a long way to go and well short of the 1st down. That'll bring on the punt team for Tampa Bay. And thus far, the Bucs have had pretty good field position thanks to some nice returns by Clifton Smith. Yeah, the field position's been good. Couple mistakes early on by Freeman. He's going to have to protect the football. He had the drop snap, the forced fumble by Charlie Anderson. They fortunately got that one back, but mistakes hurting the Bucs early. And again, like we said, the Dolphins said we've got to get heat on them. They've been able to do so thus far. Dirk Johnson punting away to Best. Best dropped the last punt. Not a good kick. Best won't even mess with it. It rolls backwards and then out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 6'3" Dolphins, 31 yards on the Swift.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Miller Lite. There's light beer and then there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By Windows 7, your PC simplified. And by Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery.
Dolphins coming in after a loss last week up in New England to Tom Brady and the Patriots. And the mantra all week long from Tony Sparano has been, we got to get pressure on defense and make big plays on offense. They've had a couple already. There's Ricky Williams. He's looking for a big play, tries to get outside. Savvy Piscatelli picks him up, limits the gain to 5 yards. Let's go down to Laura Oakman.
All right, guys, usually when friends play against each other, they'll wager a little bet, like maybe dinner or something, but not Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams. I love this bet. The 2 former Auburn teammates travel together every offseason. Today's outcome is going to determine this year's trip. If Miami wins, they go to Australia for 2 weeks with Cadillac picking up the tab. If Tampa wins, it's Africa on Ronnie. Not bad, right? That's a pretty good wager.
And right now, the pistol formation, Pat White, the backup quarterback, he's in at quarterback. He'll give it inside to Ronnie Brown, and that's close to a 1st down. Believe he got it, definitely. And John, tell me more about the pistol formation.
The pistol, you've got Pat White, a true quarterback in at quarterback. He can throw, he can run the option. Now they decide just to give it to Ronnie Brown on the dive. They're concerned about the option. They ran it versus New England last week with some success. First play went for 33 yards. People start to get answers for the Wildcat. Now they throw this at you. You have so much to prepare for when you face these Miami Dolphins.
6 rushes for 45 yards last week, averaging 7.5 a crack. Not bad. He'll throw the lefty, and it's broken up. Intended for best, Aqib Talib is there. Let's go out to Los Angeles for an update. Kurt Menefee.
Hey, look out for the St. Louis Rams. Remember, they won their last game, had a bye last week, and now Donnie Avery pulling this one in for Mark Bulger and tying the Saints. It's early in the second quarter, but hey, you got to take it where you can get it if you're a Rams fan, right, Ron?
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. Having done the Rams a couple times. It's not over yet. That's all I'll say about that one. 2nd and 10. They'll stay in the pistol formation. Pat White, second-round pick out of West Virginia. Can run it and throw it. Option, the pitch. Ricky Williams. Williams going nowhere. Great job by the Bucs defense.
When you're facing all these offenses, you better be sound on defense and play assignment football. Rondé Barber right here. Watch him string out and contain this football. Going to take on the blocker, and then maybe with a little trip, take down Ricky Williams.
And they held him right there. They didn't call it, but he was held by Corey Sperry. A loss of 5 on the play.
Rondé Barber Long has been one of the best run-stopping defensive corners in the National Football League.
3rd and long. The pump. The long throw inside. And it's caught for a first down. That's Brian Hartline, who started the last 2 weeks in place of Ted Ginn Jr. Moves the chains.
Tony Sparano talked to us about these big chunk plays. He said, first of all, you got to get protection. Second of all, we need to get better in our intermediate passing game. Well, here's your intermediate passing game. Chad Henne, I think his best throws, and again, they don't do it enough, are throws over the middle, the digs, the skinny post. Those kind of throws right there, I think, is what he does best. Miami Dolphins playing to his strengths early.
A little wildcat, 17 yards on the reception, the hard line. This will be Williams. Williams. Inside, hit immediately. Geno Hayes, we've called his name a couple times. He's there to plug it up.
When we talked to Raheem Morris, he said one of the things, look at all these defenders right here in that box. You know what that means? It means there's no one back there, so it means you better tackle. We saw early on the first series, he breaks one tackle, Ronnie Brown or Ricky Williams, he's out the door. Nobody's back here. Usually there's a guy on the last line of defense. They're stacking the line, which is a great thought, but you better tackle.
Wildcat with Ricky Williams. Polite lead blocking. Ricky Williams lowering his head. With a nice gain, he's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. Rude in on the tackle, a pickup of 4. In the first 5 weeks, John, you see the Wildcat slowing there. I mean, they got started good, but then the last 3 weeks it slowed down. Then today, it picked back up.
I'd say so. 17.3 yards per play. That's pretty good. And we've seen the Wildcat. We've seen the pistol. We've seen the Wildcat with Ronnie Brown at quarterback. The Wildcat with Ricky Williams. They present so much. Like Raheem Morris said, they've won before they've started because you've had to prepare for so much.
Back in conventional offense. Hitting to throw. Flips it out. That's Ronnie Brown for the first down. Let's see where they mark it first. Not going to be... Well, now he changes the spot. Well, you're a Dolphin fan. You don't mind that. Walk up one extra yard, and Raheem Morris he's saying, wait a minute now. Didn't you just walk up 1 full yard?
You know, Ron, and you think about it, we just heard Laura talk about Ronnie Brown, Cadillac Williams. Can you believe they played at Auburn in the same backfield at one point with Brandon Jacobs?
Brandon Jacobs, yeah. That's the one that gets me.
3 1,000-yard rushers in the NFL. 3 of the, it's unbelievable.
So that's a first down with the extra effort. Look at Ronnie Brown so far today. You know, we asked him, do you take extra reps in practice at quarterback so you can run this Wildcat? He said, no. So what do you think about when you walk out there to do Wildcat? I mean, is there a process you got to go through, certain reads? I said, no, I just go out and play football.
He's just balling.
Yeah, right. Just be an athlete? He said, yeah, just be an athlete.
Yeah.
Sure, they practice where they want to go with it and things like that, but he doesn't overthink it, let's say. And then he still has the skills to come back in the game at pure running back and do that kind of stuff. Now, how do you defend this Wildcat? We've seen teams do different things like New England last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is what the teams have been doing. They're crashing the edges on the Wildcat. Before, people were allowing them to get outside. We talked about the hats on hats. This is the New York Jets. You can't see the film quality, but it does show you that they're crashing the edges, and they've been able to bottle it up. Tony Sparano said we need to make adjustments. They've made some good adjustments with it here today.
Pick up a 4 on that last run. Brown again. He'll be about 2 yards shy of the first. Quincy Black on the tackle. John, how do you, I mean, when you defend this thing, you've got a hybrid. You've got guys that can play quarterback. You've got so many personnel packages that you have to deal with, and you already mentioned it. And it's for real. As a defense, you got to spend so much time preparing for it, and maybe they win just in that regard alone.
Absolutely. The preparation they've done. Tampa's done extra periods, extra walkthroughs on it.
Ready play in the backfield. Williams is going to be short. Geno Hayes again. A pickup of 2. That's going to bring up 4th down and decision time for Tony Sparano. And they'll go for the field goal.
Excellent play by Barrett Ruud on that last play. He's a guy, 105 tackles already coming into this season. It's been a big transition for him and this entire Bucs defense, going from the Monty Kiffin one-gap scheme to this new Jim Bates, where it's a little more read and react up front. They've struggled, but Barrett Ruud still staying extremely productive.
49 yards now for Carpenter. It's straight. It's got enough leg. It's good. He hit from 55 in pregame warm-up, and he stays true. 9-3 Dolphins.
They did.
A quick rundown of the Wildcat pistol offense for the Dolphins. You can see the plays and the yardage there. But just the fact that they make the defense go back and forth, I think, does all the damage.
That's the key, and it makes their base offense that much better.
Smith churning the feet. Nice return out past the 30-yard line. 9-3 Dolphins.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. No one else has all your favorite channels in HD.
Well, the Buccaneers scored on their first possession, but after that, it's been nil. Punt, fumble, punt. Play action, pressure backside, another fumble. Charlie Anderson.
There was a fumble on the play, recovered
around
by
the
Tampa
corner.
Bay, number 24.
And it's recovered by Tampa Bay.
And I'd say Charlie Anderson's a little hungry. They sit down Joey Porter. They give this young kid an opportunity. He's going up against the Bucs' best offensive lineman thus far this year. His second caused fumble today. Charlie Anderson is making the most of his opportunity.
Anderson, 6-year man out of Mississippi, his first start of the season, and he's making the most of it. He has made some big plays. That was Cadillac Williams. And we mentioned earlier, we got word late on Saturday that Joey Porter would not start today, would not play at all today. He had been bothered by an injury, a knee injury. He talked to us Friday. He not only said he was going to go, he was adamant about getting back out here and playing better. He said he had to step his game up. The entire defense had to step their game up.
Yeah, and something obviously happened. We don't know. They just said coach's decision. But the bottom line is they're getting production out of that position by way of Charlie Anderson.
Pick up a 7 on the last play. Somehow Freeman got out of that, using that size and strength, and it's a first down for the Buccaneers. At 6'6", 248, he muscles his way through for 11 and a first.
And look at this. These are NFL defensive linemen, all pro players. Jason Taylor, Cameron Wake, these guys coming after Josh Freeman. And that's something you can't teach. That's why he was a first-round draft choice, and that's what he brings to the table. A strength and elusiveness to get out and convert a big third down. Great play by Josh Freeman.
The ball near midfield. They'll go with the draw. That's Williams. Williams breaking out. He's got a first down, lowers his head, and tries to run Bell over. He's across the 50-yard line. A pickup of 14. Let's go to Los Angeles for an update. Kurt Menefee.
You want to talk physical runs? Watch Adrian Peterson. They get him? No, they don't. He breaks away and breaks out. 22 yards for a score, and Minnesota is leading Detroit 10-0 right now in the second quarter. Ron and John.
And the Vikings are rolling with their new quarterback, Brett Favre, comfortably ahead in the division. They'll go back to the ground game. That's Derek Ward, the free agent brought in from the New York Giants. He picks up 4. They're going back to Freeman. Teammates kind of joke with him. They said he's got that Spicoli kind of attitude, you know, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, the movie. Very laid back, a lot of hey dudes, you know, let's just get it going. We'll take care of it.
But extremely prepared. And again, he raises the confidence level of his entire team when he steps on that field because they know they have a chance to win when he's playing.
A hard worker and a perfectionist, as his coaching staff describes. Ward again, coming in early in the morning, 6 a.m. meetings with offensive coordinator Greg Olson 3 days a week. He said that's the one thing that surprised me about playing quarterback in the NFL. I didn't know I was going to have to spend this much time at the facility.
But now he said he's loving it. You know, he's really gotten in. This is a guy who really enjoys the game of football, and he's starting to thrive on that preparation. And that always is the case when you're playing, but he was doing it when he was sitting on the bench.
3rd and 5, he'll have to do it here. Looking to get out of the pocket. Marker goes down, and he throws that one. Takes a hit late, but a marker is down. Pressure by Jason Taylor. 2 flags actually down on the play. One official signaling holding in the secondary.
There are fouls against both teams that will offset. Holding, offset, number 28. This penalty by rule will be declined. Holding, defense number 33. This penalty will also be declined as they offset. 3rd down.
Derek Ward and Nate Jones pop for the calls. They'll offset. They'll replay it.
Now that on that 3rd down, Josh Freeman came out looking for his young rookie receiver, Sammy Strotter. They sat on that route. He looked for Kellen Winslow. He wasn't yet out of his break. And then Jason Taylor flushed him out. Jason Taylor really coming to play here today along with Charlie Anderson and this entire Miami Dolphin defensive front.
Pressure inside. The crosser. It's caught, but it's short of the 1st down. That's Sammy Strotter, the 7th round pick out of Oregon State. Time to make a decision.
Raheem's going to ask for a measurement. It doesn't look like they're going to give it to him. Or now they are.
So they will measure it. Morris at 33 years old. Well, I love the way he comes into the meeting room. He sits down and he's got it all out there ready to go now. He'll tell you about everything. Very knowledgeable, very intellectual, very experienced in the game of football.
Well, you know, he came in as a young 24-year-old. He was our assistant DB coach. Now he's got to make a decision. He's a head coach now. These are the type of decisions, and he quickly made that decision. He's going to send his kicker, Connor Barth, on.
He may be looking at this type of game, low-scoring game thus far, relatively low-scoring. They're having trouble in the pocket protecting Freeman a little bit. They haven't had points since the 1st drive. We just showed the miscues a few plays ago. So he's thinking points here going in at the half. This will be from 50 yards out. He's already hit one from 51. It's up, drifting, but drifting back. Nice draw on the ball. No markers are down. It counts. Long range Connor Barth. 3-point game.
Fortunately for the Dolphins, Donald Thomas, their right guard, is okay. He's walked off the field, but you watch him here, you're going to see Kyle Moore come right there and just hit him in the neck really quick. Those are the looks, the unexpected hits that sometimes send a little stinger down that arm. I've been there, and thankfully for the Dolphins and everyone, Donald Thomas looks to be all right.
Joe Berger, free agent from Dallas, will step in Thomas's place at the right guard spot, number 67. 2nd and 9, look to go screen. Well covered, he threw it on the ground, intended for Ronnie Brown. Justin Smiley already out, and Smiley, as John already alluded to, is their best offensive lineman, playing as their best offensive lineman this year. He had a visit to Dr. James Andrews, the world-renowned Dr. Andrews, down in Birmingham, Alabama this week to attend to a shoulder. As you know, Andrews is a guy who worked on Drew Brees, did his shoulder, and Brett Favre, and I think those two guys have come back and done a pretty nice job.
He did this left shoulder,
and
too.
Did yours, too, right?
Fortunately for Justin Smiley, no surgery. Just kind of give him some rest, and hopefully they get him back.
All right, that was a consultation. 3rd and 9, draw. Ronnie Brown. Brown will be about a yard shy of the first down, but the yards piling up for Brown. 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
9-6 Dolphins. So under the 2-minute warning, the Dolphins will punt it away. Clifton Smith deep. Nice punt. Smith back inside the 15-yard line. Splits the first wave and gets out to about the 23-yard line. Well, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and reveal the new BCS standings. America's #1 post-game show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, coming up after the late games here on Fox. And we got a late penalty flag.
Illegal block in the back, receiving team number 93. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
49 yards on the punt, 12 yards on the return, plus the penalty yardage going back.
Ron, I think you look at this game, by all accounts, it seems as if Miami's kind of controlling the game. They're letting the Buccaneers stay in here. You're sitting here at 9-6. When your defense is playing well, you're doing what you set out to do, you're attacking the quarterback. Again, it's the lack of explosion plays on offense through the passing game. You just saw a 3rd and 10, they ran a draw. You let a team like this, particularly with the young quarterback who's known for bringing his team back, stay in there, I think you're flirting with trouble. The Dolphins, Jason Taylor said, the one thing they're missing is that killer instinct. They need to start showing that.
3 timeouts left for both teams, and there's a little killer instinct by the man you just talked about, 35-year-old Jason Taylor.
And Jason Taylor, he said, look, you know, much like Joey Porter, we got to put it on ourselves. He's going against Donald Penn right here. Going to kind of just soft play him, throw him off, and make the tackle there on Cadillac Williams. But Jason Taylor, great addition coming back down to Miami after a year up in Washington. Of course, we know what he's done in his career, 126 careers, but still playing at a very high level, Ron. Leading the team with 5.5 sacks coming into today. And, you know, this guy still loves the game, says, am I what I once was? Probably not, but I'm still pretty darn good. And I agree with him. He's playing good football for him.
Couple lifestyle changes as well. As you get older, he said it's always harder, but he said the one thing I've done that's helped tremendously is I stopped drinking. He said I don't feel great during the week, but on game day, I'm ready to go. 2nd and 12. Inside throw, knocked away. Is it complete? I don't know if that ball was caught. It's run in for a touchdown by Taylor. Let's see what they call it. The officials have thrown out the beanbag. That implies that it's a loose ball picked up and returned. Now we're under 2 minutes.
Pass has been ruled an incomplete pass.
Okay.
3rd down.
Tony Corrente comes in and cleans it up very quickly.
Go back here. You look at Michael
Clock
Clayton.
Operator, please reset the game clock.
1, 2.
Boy,
You know, if I'm the
don't know from
Buccaneers,
that
I think I challenge it. I think you have a catch, and he's down on contact on the catch. We'll see if, or this actually, they would have to come from the booth on the review under 2 minutes. We'll see Raheem on the sideline over there trying to stall a little bit to see if the booth.
The previous play will go under review.
Okay, there you go. They didn't call the timeout. Miami called one a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago. But here's another look at the play.
And the one thing I like from this Buccaneers staff is putting confidence in the young kid. You're backed up. And you see Michael Clayton come down, and I think you have a catch down by contact when Jeremiah Bell tackled him there. But I like the Buccaneers putting confidence in their young quarterback. Yes, you're backed up. Yes, you're on the road.
Boy, to me, that's a catch.
The ball doesn't come out till right there.
Catch.
That's a catch, and I think that's going to be an easy call for Tony Corrente under the boot there. I think you've got a catch. Buccaneers first down.
Buccaneers with 3 timeouts left.
I talked to Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, who's been so influential in Josh Freeman's development. He said, we're going to trust the young kid. If we're going to play him, we have to trust him. And right there, that's the ultimate trust. A lot of teams would throw a little, just run a little draw there. They're putting faith in their young quarterback. Let's look at this one more time. See Clayton bring the ball in. 1 foot down, 2 foot down, elbow down, butt down, couple things, and the ball doesn't come out till right there. Ronnie, I don't know about you. I think that's a catch down by contact.
And the only thing they would look at to see if he had complete control, did the ball move? As you know, John, you have to catch the ball past the ground.
You have to possess the ball past the ground. In which case, I think it would be an incomplete pass rather than a catch.
Coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights from around the league. And the Fox Sports ticker, the up to the second stats and scores and all the information. Great job on the pregame show the last couple weeks. The guys went over to the Middle East, spent some time with our men and women and the armed forces over there that are fighting for our freedom, and did an excellent job of just presenting the entire situation there and what it means to everyone from a security standpoint.
Ronnie, I tell you, I'm getting chills right now talking about it because, you know, it makes you proud to be a part of a network that goes over there to highlight the good things that the men and women of our armed forces are doing, the schools they're building and whatnot. And you could see it coming through the screen with our guys, Terry and Howie and Glaze and Kurt and the guys. They did such a great job communicating how appreciative we are. And I think it was really a nice relief and a big thrill for those soldiers to be around those guys. We had guys on our crew
guys
go
on
over.
Our crew right here that went over.
And they talk it that being a life-changing experience.
Exactly. Phil Link, Steve Cardamone, Mark Butler, and P.T. Navarro. They all went over, spent some time over there the last couple weeks. And they talked about how hard it was to set everything up to get going. These guys didn't go to sleep for 2 days. Flying over, got right to work, put it on the air, and did a great job. Congratulations, guys, and thanks for going over.
After reviewing the play, the Tampa receiver possessed the ball but was going to the ground. The ball never did hit the ground, popped up. It wasn't accepted by. However, by rule, we come out in advance. It will be Miami's ball, first down at the 15-yard line. The game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 38 seconds. Thank you.
It looked to me like he was contacted while on the ground. But Tony Corrente, they did not see it that way. Let's look at it again.
Look at here.
He's contacted, then it pops up at that point. It looks.
Jason Taylor obviously excited. He cannot, even though they did rule it a fumble, he cannot advance it. They will give Miami the ball, but I think I've got to disagree. It looks like he possessed it, was contacted, both his backside and his elbow were down, and I think at that point the ball's dead.
Now, if no one contacted him and the ball pops, then it's a free ball.
See Jason Taylor.
Right there.
This would have been Jason Taylor's 10th career touchdown.
Jeremiah Bell was a man who contacted him, and Raheem Morris is they're taking him back off the field here.
At the conclusion of all the action, unsportsmanlike conduct against Tampa Bay, This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And that'll tack on yards after the play.
See Raheem Morris, and he just pushed that official too far. I can see why he's upset, because looking at the film, I don't understand the call. But again, I think Raheem will tell you he's got to have a little more composure. They move the ball half the distance.
So the Dolphins, with 2 timeouts left, they have the ball on the 8-yard line. Quick throw outside. It's caught by Williams, but rounded up very quickly. Quincy Black, 3 yards on the reception.
This is a 30-second timeout.
And you see no touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of either half this season for the Dolphins.
And I think that goes again to the killer instinct. This is a football team that has played with everyone, the likes of Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. They dominated the Indianapolis Colts, but you have to finish people and you have to make plays in critical situations. The last 2 minutes of halves and the last 2 minutes of games, those are critical situations. Those are what winning football teams do, and that's the difference right now. They do so many things well, but you know, it's killer instinct, it's details. They've got to take that next step if they want to get where they want to go, which is a playoff football team.
Jason Taylor providing that killer instinct with the return. Not allowed a touchdown. The Dolphin ball. Play action to Williams. Plenty of time, no place to go. Throws late. Touchdown, Dolphins. Corey Sperry, the rookie tight end from Colorado State, just signed off the practice squad this week. And John, you noticed he was taking reps in practice and he wasn't even on the active roster yet.
He was taking a lot of reps in practice. This is a guy who had an illustrious career at Colorado State. Anthony Fasano was iffy all week. Corey Sperry wasn't signed until yesterday, and now all of a sudden you look at this game, you got Corey Sperry catching a touchdown, Charlie Anderson all over the field on defense. You talk about young guys making the most of their opportunities. They're doing that for these Miami Dolphins today.
Last extra point attempt blocked. That one clean, no flags. So after the review and the change on the possession on the fumble by Clayton, the Dolphins go in at the half 16-6.
There's the controversial ruling on Michael Clayton. Dolphins cash in on the turnover. Chad Henne with a beautiful pass right across the middle. Good coverage, really, by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He just had too much time.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself. The half still with 1 minute and 25 seconds left. But the Dolphins getting some extra points here that I don't even know if they counted on. They're in defensive mode. Next thing you know, they make a big play. But when you got a team backed up, John, I remember what our defensive coordinators and defensive coaches used to tell us. I'm sure yours said the same thing. You got to flip it around. You got to think turnover, think big play when you got a team backed up.
Absolutely. And what a swing of event for Jason Taylor and these Miami Dolphins. A swing of events, excuse me. They're sitting there 9-6. We're talking about the Bucs are hanging around. But what do you have to do to put people away? You have to make plays. And controversy or not, they ruled it a fumble, and the Dolphins cash in.
And they end their 2-minute slump with a touchdown. Smith chopped down quickly. Got it out to the 22. Brian Hartline with the tackle. Look at the scoring drive. Well, not much of a drive. It's all about the turnover. .119 to play. First and 10 throw, the out, it's complete. Kellen Winslow. Winslow has been very quiet today. Coming into the game as a leading receiver, that's good for 5. His first catch of the day.
And that's what the Bucs and Josh Freeman, they were starting to mount a drive there. We had the controversial call, but they still have to continue to trust in this young man. He's proven, I think in my mind, he's earned their trust. Put the ball in his hands, and let's try to get some points before halftime. Swing the momentum back in Tampa's favor.
Middle of the field, that one got away. Intended for Straughter. Trying to break that cover too. Just a bit overthrown.
You know, and Freeman trying to take a shot downfield. They're playing the two-man, trailing underneath. The safeties are back deep on halves of the field. And that's a dangerous throw across the middle of the field like that. You like him being aggressive. Third down, again, last week, that's where he struggled. 3 of 12, 1 of 5 today. It's critical for these Buccaneers to be able to convert these third down to keep the chains moving and give them more opportunities on offense.
Now he's looking at a 3rd and 5. Some confusion in the Dolphins secondary. They get it lined up, the safeties. And play is stopped.
Timeout. Tampa Bay. This is their first.
So Tampa Bay takes their first timeout. They'll have 2 left. Visa halftime report coming up. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, Jimmy, scores, highlights, and the Fox Sports ticker. A close game up until about 30 seconds ago. 9-6 to be exact. Connor Barth hit a long field goal to bring it to 3. A controversial call and play. Mike Clayton apparently fumbled the ball. It looked as though he was contacted, picked up. Jason Taylor, he scored, but the ball could not be advanced. Subsequently, Corey Sperry catches a 5-yard touchdown, and the Dolphins go up 16-6, just like that.
Dolphins showing pressure right up here in the A-gaps. They drop out.
Pressure, sack. Cameron Wake, backup defensive linebacker, comes in the game with a huge sack.
Their 3rd and final timeout. It's the 32nd timeout.
Talk about unheralded players making the most of their opportunities. Now Cameron Wake. This is a guy who played in the CFL in 07 and 08. Just beating Jeremy Trueblood off the corner. He's an explosive pass rusher. Had 39 sacks in 2 seasons up in Canada. That makes for his 4.5 sacks on this season.
That's right.
Josh Freeman maybe holding the ball a little too long there. Trueblood has to hold up in protection, but Cameron Wake's a guy that has shown the ability, and they say he's going to continue to get more pass rush opportunities. And I tell you what, they all talked about it. We need to get the pass rush going. They're certainly doing their job here today.
He had a sack on Tom Brady last week. 2 return men deep, Ted Ginn Jr. and Devon Best. This is Ginn Jr. And Ginn Jr. spins his way back to the 48-yard line. Big doubleheader action coming up after this game. The Dallas Cowboys going into Lambeau to take on the slumping Green Bay Packers. They've lost 2 in a row.
You know, and I'm liking some things out of the Miami Dolphins. First of all, putting Ted Ginn in at a punt returner. People have been clamoring for that, and I think duly so. This guy's explosive every time he puts his hands on the ball. Now, if you're the Miami Dolphins right now, you've got 52 seconds left. I think you attack. I think you try to put more points and bury your opponent.
They'll throw it. The long outside sail route, and it's incomplete, intended for Joey Haynos. John, you know, this game now, just a few minutes ago, we're talking about how Miami ought to be careful that Tampa Bay doesn't come back. They're letting them hang around. Now, all of a sudden, maybe Tampa Bay's got to be careful not to let this game run away from them.
Get out of hand, and nice play by Geno Hayes right there. But I like that again out of Dan Henning and this Miami offense. You know, this is an offense, I think their one shortcoming, their 29th ranked pass offense, and I think a lot of it, they just aren't taking the shots. Trust your quarterback, Chad Henne. You're scoring 30 points a game with him as the quarterback. Take some shots. And they're trying to do that.
They're trusting him, looking screen. Ronnie Brown's got an opening. He will get out of bounds very alertly and stops the clock with 38 seconds left. They're approaching field goal range, 11 yards on the screen.
We talked with Tony Sperano, and one of my thoughts coming into this game, when you're struggling for the chunk yards, the 20-plus passes where they're at the bottom of the league with only 14 of them, it doesn't always mean taking shots downfield. Sometimes it means little screens. Sometimes it means little short slant and intermediate routes. Right there, a great execution on the screen. Something they've done very well, haven't done enough of this year.
No timeout for Miami. Taking sidelines. He's already had one touchdown, but he stays in bounds. That's Corey Sperry. We're going to have to get on the ball. That was the only bad thing he did on that play. Didn't get out of bounds. Good enough for a first. He'll clock it to stop the clock. There it is. So 16 seconds left. And now they're definitely in field goal range.
Corey Sperry, another catch after having just been signed yesterday. But I'm sure Tony Sperano is going to be in his ear. You catch that ball, get out of bounds. You know, and they took a lot of time there. They lost just about 10 seconds after the catch going to spike that football. Here he's making the walk of shame. He's going to hear it. He went nice on him.
Yeah, that's because they're still in hurry-up mode.
Exactly.
You can't yell at them yet.
Wait till halftime.
16 seconds, no timeouts. Going up the sidelines, wide open and out of bounds. Great play, Devon Bess. He gets the yardage and gets out of bounds. 10 seconds left.
See Devon Bess right up here, press coverage by Rondé Barber, looking for his safety help.
He jumped.
Savvy Piscatelli doesn't get over there quick enough.
And so they're going to bring on the field goal unit right now. What do you think, John? 10 seconds, you might have time for one shot, but they want to make sure they get away with points here, it looks like to me. 30 yards out by Carpenter. He's already hit from 49 yards out. Clean snap. Good hold, good kick, no flags. And a nicely executed drive by Chad Henne and the Miami Dolphins. 5 seconds left.
All of a sudden, in this last minute of this game, again, Ron, we're talking just over a minute ago about, you're talking about them allowing and lacking the killer instinct, allowing Tampa to stay in the ball game. And you have that controversial call again that led to a touchdown, a Corey Sperry touchdown from Chad Henne. They get the ball back and then again go down for the field goal. I think right there I would have liked to see him take one more shot at the end zone. Yeah, I think you got to be aggressive in this league if you want to be special. But nonetheless, you see Miami really take control of the game here in this second half.
10 points in the last 1 minute and 20 seconds by the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins still very much alive in the playoff hunt. Third place in the AFC East, trying to keep up with the 6-2 Patriots. They went up there last week and took the L. The good news, the Dolphins are 3-1 in the division, and the second place Jets are slipping hard, losing 4 of the last 5. And they've beaten the Jets twice. That's Stovall, and Stovall gets it out.
That is the end.
Just past midfield, not enough, and that'll be the half. The Dolphins come back big, 19-6. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And a wild going to halftime that we've had here in Miami. 19-6 Dolphins ahead. It looked as though the Dolphins were going to let the Bucs hang in a little too long, and then all of a sudden they flipped it around with a controversial play there just at the half. And here's a look at the halftime stats.
And I think the keys to those stats, forget about the yardage and all that, the 2 turnovers for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been critical. You know, one on the controversial call, but they both led to points. And Miami's starting to gain some of that killer instinct that we talked about, and Jason Taylor talked about them needing to have as a football team.
So Connor Barth will get us going here in the second half. Ted Ginn Jr. leading the NFL in kickoff returns and yardage, looking for that big play. Scrapes it up the sideline, and he's out of bounds. Ron Pitts along with John Lynch. Hello there. John, talk about that last series of plays there. A little crazy.
A little crazy for sure, and the end result, forget about whether it was right or not. Miami extends their lead, scores their first points in the last 2 minutes of any half this season. As we see the penalty there. And you know, the big problem for Miami, they have not been a good second-half football team this year. So we'll see. They've possessed the ball extremely well. Although they lead the time of possession in the National Football League in the second half, they give up the most points. So it's critical for them to keep that killer instinct going in the second half.
Meanwhile, for the Buccaneer offense, as Miami moves back after the penalty, the Buccaneer offense, they struggle in the third quarter. And there's a look at what you were talking about.
And no one possesses the ball more, but it really doesn't add up. They give up more points as a defense in Miami than anybody in the second half. They need to fix that.
Ricky Williams and the run game back in effect. Donald Thomas back in at right guard for the Dolphins. Let's go down to Laura Oakman.
Well, I know you guys won't be surprised to hear the first thing Raheem Morris said was they got a good call. He said he told his team at halftime, we got to worry about what we can't control. That's getting our run game going. That's protecting our quarterback, especially third down. As for Coach Soprano, I knew I was going to say that. He said walking off the field, he was adamant. We have not had that killer instinct in the fourth quarter. He said we've got to finish off our drives in order to finish off this team, something we have not done in the fourth quarter.
All right, Laura, thank you. 2nd down and 6. Williams again.
You're not the only one, Laura. I've been saying that all week. It's hard not to.
Chad Henne took over as the starter week 4 for Chad Pennington. Pennington gone for the season with the injury. And he's raved about how Pennington has been so helpful to him on and off the field. Third down and 4. The end around. That's Ginn Jr. with a nice move, but he can't make it work for the first. Hayes is there. Piscatelli drove him out along with Barber. And that'll bring on the punt team for the Dolphins.
I'll circle 2 people here. Number 1, Geno Hayes. But first of all, Rondé Barber, you got to be aggressive and force it. He forces Ted Ginn to bubble, and actually it was Sabby Piscatelli who came and cleaned it up. Nice defense for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers D right off the bat.
Nearly blocked. Good pressure. Fields drives this one. A great punt. All the way back to the 25-yard line goes Smith. Almost outkicked the coverage, but they get him rounded up at the 32-yard line. 62-yard punt. 4 yards off the year long for Fields.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By the Canon EOS Rebel T1i, shooting in 1080p Full HD video inspired by Canon. By State Farm, to us nothing's more important than being there. And by Autotrader.com. You'll find the car you want at the price you want at Autotrader.com.
So the Buccaneers take over on offense. I was talking about the struggles they've had in the third quarter. Outscored 54-7 in third quarter action this year. Looking for the bounce out. Cadillac Williams can't quite get there. Guy who's played a great game thus far. Charlie Anderson filling in for Joey Porter. And we talk about the young quarterbacks in today's game. Josh Freeman along with Chad Henne, and they're the numbers.
Yeah, and again, Henne, the big thing is no interceptions. Freeman has the one, albeit on a controversial call, 1 fumble as well. That's been the difference thus far. If you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you need to get Kellen Winslow involved. He's your leading receiver, a heck of a matchup nightmare for any defense. You've thrown it to him 1 time today. You need to get Kellen Winslow. That's an adjustment you need to make at halftime.
Freeman, 3 sacks, 3 fumbles. Quick throw to Stovall. Stovall, I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. May have lost one. Chris Clemens. No yards on the play. Nice weather here, John.
Beautiful day, no wind. Great weather for football here. Status quo for Miami.
Yeah, no snowstorms headed this way. We'll let you know when they do. 3rd and 10. Corner blitz. Vontae Davis from a long ways out. He misses the sack. Freeman on the move. But they round him up anyway at the 35-yard line. He picks up 2, avoids the sack, but that'll bring on the punt team.
Talk about different ways of pressuring a young quarterback. Watch Vontae Davis on what they call a cat blitz, a corner blitz. He comes right up, makes Freeman leave to his right. The guys just aren't getting open for Josh Freeman down the field right now. The Buccaneers receivers need to start doing a better job of giving him something.
Dirk Johnson punts it away for Bess. Short kick. Bess decides to stay away from it. Ball rolls dead at about the 28-yard line, 34 yards on the punt. Dolphin ball when we come back. Dolphins up 19-6 here in the third. A little bit different for Josh Freeman this time out. A little more pressure. You know, as they say, now they got film on you after that last game. Green Bay didn't have much film on it. Dolphins able to get pressure, something they have not done a consistent job of all year long. There's a completion to Joey Haynes, and Haynes with a first down. And the Miami Dolphins started off with the Wildcat. They vowed to get it back going, and Ronnie Brown did. 59 yards in the first quarter alone, a couple big runs early. The controversial play right before a half, it looked like a tackle and a fumble, ended up being an interception, which later led to the 1-yard touchdown throw to Sperry. 14 yards on that last play. Ronnie Brown going backwards now, looking to reverse his field, and he loses yards. Quincy Black.
Coach Raheem Morris talked about coming into this game here today, Wildcat base offense. A critical thing was to be able to get to tackle against these backs. 23 and 34, Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown. And one hallmark, whatever scheme you're playing about this Tampa Bay Buc defense, has always been getting 11 people to football. You can change the scheme, you can change the coordinators. That's never going to change because the culture has been built. That's something they still do well.
Look at Ronnie Brown the first quarter. Now look at his numbers since. A loss of 7 on that last play. Hit immediately. Barrett Rude all over Ricky Williams. John, talking about that Bucs defense, give me some of the ways the defense has changed since you played in it.
Well, it starts up front. You know, you think of Warren Sapp, Chris Hovan, all these guys that have played there inside have always been attacking. Get up the field, cause penetration. I think one of the big issues and problems in the transition, first of all, you've gone for something that was extremely successful for a long time, won you a world championship. And now you've changed, not just a little bit, the whole culture on how you play defense. It starts up front. It's been much more read and react.
A pickup of 2, 3rd and long. 2-man route into coverage on the sidelines, and he fit it in. Ted Ginn Jr., what do they say? They're discussing it. They rule it an incomplete pass.
Watch Ted Ginn.
Incomplete. 4th down.
Got 1 foot.
Second foot is out, clearly out. Good call by the official. Savvy Piscatelli came over from the safety spot just to ensure that he was out of bounds. That'll bring on the punt team for Miami.
And you got to like it. I talked about it early. They reinserted Ted Ginn into the offense. One of the things they've been doing is struggling getting the chunk yards, as Tony Sperano calls it. And you put Ted Ginn in, they're taking their shots, and that has an effect. Whether they're effective or not in terms of executing them, it certainly has an effect.
Boy, Smith with a lot of guts taking that ball inside the 10. Danced a little bit, 53-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. Buccaneer offense coming up.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. For all your holiday home improvements, Lowe's. Let's build something together.
So a couple nice punts there by Brandon Fields on the last 2 possessions. 62-53. He's really flipped the field position here as we look at the Buccaneer leaders.
Josh Freeman has been efficient, 6 for 10. I think he's held the ball a little too long, and these Miami Dolphins have done a great job in coverage and getting after him.
1st and 10. He'll throw it. Holding it, no place to go. Give the credit down the field. Everybody seemed to be locked up in the secondary.
Absolutely. Sometimes you're saying a guy is holding the football. Well, it always has to do with this coverage. And you look at the back end here, Sean Smith on Maurice Stovall. He's going to take away and do a little trail technique. Gabriel Wilson drives in. Vontae Davis on the other side on Michael Clayton. He's blanketing him. At some point, the onus falls upon the receivers. You got to get open for young quarterback, old quarterback. Your receiver, as a receiver, your job's to get open.
2nd down and 10. To give to Ward. Ward hitting the backfield. Pressure off the backside there. Matt Roth came around the corner and almost had him for a loss. A pickup of 2. John, we know the Dolphins are sporting their rookie corners, and they're proud of them. Talking about Vontae Davis, the 25th player picked overall, and in the 2nd round, Sean Smith. They've lined up with those guys, and they're going to go with them, good or bad. 3rd and 8. The out. It's complete. And that's good enough for a 1st down. And Straughter gets up talking a little trash. Straughter, the 7th round pick out of Oregon State. He had the go-ahead offensive touchdown last week against Green Bay. He comes up with a 1st down here.
Ron, you say he's talking trash. Well, if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. And this young kid's been doing it all year long. I watched him in preseason. He jumped off the screen to you. He's explosive. He's good on 3rd down. This guy's a football player. He's paid dividends in the kick game as well.
Good for 9 yards to give back to Ward. Ward driving the feet. Hit inside first by Jason Ferguson. Does it feel like they've gotten away from the run maybe a little bit?
I think they've really struggled with their identity as a run team. You go back to the preseason, they brought in Jeff Jagodzinski as an offensive coordinator. He tried to bring in the zone scheme. My only problem with that was that didn't really fit the skills of his offensive lineman. You think Davin Joseph, Trueblood, these guys are power blockers. They've gotten away from that. They're trying to find, are they a zone team, are they a power team? And I think that's led to the struggles more than anything.
2nd down and 7. Pressure, the long throw knocked away at the last second. Great play there by Jeremiah Bell, the team's leading tackler.
You see the pressure coming after Josh Freeman. Actually, his line does a good job, just nothing downfield. Again, the receivers aren't doing a good job. They're running long, developing routes. They aren't doing a good job getting open for the young man. At some point, you either throw it out or you try to extend the play. He's tried to do both. It hasn't worked.
A look at Freeman under pressure.
He's been under duress all day and expect more on 3rd down.
3rd and 7. Complete. Kellen Winslow. And Winslow Jr. with a big run. He's deep inside Dolphin territory with a little exclamation point at the end of it all. A pickup of 37 yards and a 1st.
We talked about them needing to get Kellen Winslow involved. Well, there he is right there, and that's who's covering him. They do a wonderful job of providing a little bit of a rub on Jeremiah Bell. He actually runs into his own guy, Kellen Winslow. Nice catch and a great yak. Yards after the catch, Kellen Winslow needs to get involved in this football game.
Loose ball. Dropped the snap, and he gets it back. A bunch of fumbles today for Josh Freeman. They'll go with a loss of 4.
And I think on that, Josh is trying to get his eyes downfield. You got to be able to catch that snap. He's had problems in his first 2 weeks with the center quarterback exchange, both under the center and in gun. Those are things that you need to protect the football at all levels, particularly in the National Football League as a young quarterback.
I was way shy on the loss there, a loss of 14. 2nd and 23. Across the middle of the field, complete to Winslow. So Winslow starting to get involved and talking. And he doesn't even have Joey Porter on the field to talk to.
But they need to get him involved. He drives their passing game right now. Antonio Bryant, their most explosive wide receiver, has been dealing with his nagging knee all year long. Not out there today. These receivers aren't getting open. Take it to a guy who will get open. Kellen Winslow, he's shown in his career when healthy, this guy's an 80 reception, 1,000-yard guy. He's a big-time tight end.
3rd and 11. Going in the middle of the field. That one floated up for grabs. Knocked away at the last second by Nate Jones. Lucky it's not intercepted. Looked as though he was hit in the eye there. But they bring on Barth, and Barth has been solid today. 2 50-yard field goals. This will be 54. Got the distance. He lines it up great. And Barth with 3 field goals helps the Bucs come back 19-9. Boy, I think Connor Barth doesn't have a little pent-up frustration after being cut by Miami in training camp. The first time in Bucs history a kicker has hit 3 50-plus yard field goals in a game.
Talks about Brett Favre going back to Lambeau. How about Connor Barth coming back to Landshark?
Comes back big. Ginn Jr., they've kept him bottled up all day. Not much there again, out to about the 25-yard line. Bucs hanging in there, 19-9 Dolphins. A look at the offensive leaders for the Dolphins. Henny just the same as he's been, solid, consistent. Ronnie Brown, as we said, he got the Wildcat going earlier, kind of quiet as of late. We go to Ricky Williams, and Ricky Williams running downhill. Something that a lot of the Bucs players said that he has changed. He is no longer that stuttering kind of pick-your-way runner. He's using that strength and size that he's always had.
Well, there was a time, I remember playing against him, the book on Ricky Williams was you hit him early, you could take him out of the game. That's not the same Ricky Williams. He all of a sudden, Rondé Barber said he was a big guy that tried to run nifty. Now he is getting behind his pads and running downhill. He's playing at a very high level. See Pat White check in and their pistol offense.
Pickup of 11 by Williams. We'll run the option and keep it. Not much. He got 1.
See Jimmy Wilkerson right here on the right end. They try to run the option. Jimmy Wilkerson does a great job of slowing Pat White down. Adam Hayward comes in, finishes the tackle.
Wilkerson leading the team in sacks. 5.5. Williams with a hole. Ricky Williams across midfield into Bucs territory. Tanard Jackson brings him down, but a big pickup, 19 yards now. 2 back-to-back gashes by Williams.
The Dolphins come into this game as the number 4 ranked rushing offense in the league, but they've been slipping the last couple of weeks. Tony Sperano singled out these guys. He said, I need more out of you. Jake Long doing a great job collapsing that left end. And you put Ricky Williams in space, he's going to run through tackles like he does right there on Sabby Piscatelli. These Dolphins are getting that run game going again.
And they keep it going with the lead. Fumble. Ronnie Brown fumbles, picked up by Tenard Jackson. And they had it going oh so well. Then the miscue, and Brown is shaken up.
Look at Ronnie Brown doing a great job. Again, they're starting to dominate the game on the run. Savvy Piscatelli does a great job of wrapping up Ronnie Brown and putting his hand on that ball. Tenard Jackson, who's always around the ball, nice job of scooping that ball.
Boy, you never want to see this, especially from a player as electrifying as Ronnie Brown, being helped off the field by players limping. That right knee seems to be the issue. Right knee or ankle. So the Buccaneers will take over 1st and 10. Counting down here in the 3rd quarter. They'll keep passing it. Middle of the field. Incomplete, intended for Winslow, and it's knocked away. Jabril Wilson. Let's go Los Angeles for this update. Kurt Menefee.
4th quarter, Falcons on 4th and 1, down 8 to Carolina. A little bootleg, and Matt Ryan hooks up with the tight end Justin Peel, but they missed the 2-point conversion, and so it's still Carolina holding on 21-19, still 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Ron and John?
All right, Kurt, thank you. The Bucs trying to keep sights of Carolina at 3-5, and Carolina trying to stay close to Atlanta at 5-3. And of course, the Saints, the class of that division, undefeated. 2nd and 10. Pressure all day on Freeman. He gets out of it, and then some, very close to the 1st down, and just pushes away Aiken Adele, showing you that size and strength. And John, you told me before the game, don't sleep on him, because for a guy that size, he can run.
Oh, incredibly. But you watch this coverage again. They're running long developing routes. You see Michael Clayton, long developing routes. Nothing is there right now. Stovall goes for the stutter. I think they got to go to some shorter routes, help the young kid get the ball out of his hand, and maybe the answer for him is, if no one's getting open, just run.
Do what he did, huh? Dolphins medical staff still attending to Ronnie Brown, and a timeout called by Freeman. Minute 20 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. The Bucs drew early blood, an early field goal in the 1st quarter. Since that time, very little, thank goodness for Connor Barth. He's hit 3 times, all from 50-50 plus.
Connor Barth has kept them in the game. And all of a sudden, again, you look at the Dolphins. The Bucs have somehow worked their way back into this. You got a 10-point game. Tampa's got the ball near midfield. Raheem Morris wants the clock reset. They feel like they did not reset the clock, which forced them to call a timeout. I was talking to Tony Corrente about that. But really, these Miami Dolphins, again, they possess the ball in the second half more than anyone. They're doing that right now, but the fumble leads to the opportunity for Tampa. And again, they've given up more points in the second half as a defense of any team in the NFL. They've got to put a stop to that right now.
And Tony Sperano talked to us about that culture change that is still in effect here in Miami. I think a lot of people got excited, maybe prematurely, after the 11-5, after 1-15 2 years ago. But he said it's still work under construction. 3rd and 2. Dolphins showing blitz man-to-man across the board. It is. Here it comes. Somebody's got to win. And he does win. That's Michael Clayton, the 6-year vet, and he moves the chain. Good looking play.
There you go. I think that's a good adjustment. You got to start running some quicker developing plays. Nice job of pickup by Cadillac Williams right there on the blitz pickup, and just run those little crosses. Get open, give yourself some space so Josh Freeman has someone to throw it to. I think good adjustment, right? Greg Olsen on that 3rd down play.
Technically, that is Michael Clayton's first catch of the day. Remember, the controversial one down by the goal line right before half was taken away. Williams going nowhere. Jason Taylor all over it.
You're playing this 3-4 scheme. You need big outside linebackers that set the edge, and that's exactly what Jason Taylor did on that play. He sets the edge. Again, he uses those long arms, throws off the defender, and makes a very nice play in the backfield.
And that will most likely be the end of the 3rd quarter. Let's see what they do. No, they'll come to the line and Try to get one more play off. Freeman delivers and a strike to the tight end. So Freeman to Winslow is starting to happen as we get into the fourth quarter. That's the end of the third. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after this break. Ron Pitts, John Lynch, Laura Oakman. We start the fourth quarter. Dolphins up, but the Buccaneers are driving. 4 completions on the day to Kellen Winslow. Going deep down the sidelines for Stovall. Touchdown, Bucks. Maurice Stovall's first touchdown of the season, 33 yards. And all of a sudden, we've got a game.
And again, you talk about Josh Freeman. He gives you hope as a franchise. He's had his struggles holding the ball a little bit too much today. Last week, down by 11 going into the fourth quarter. They come back and win. This guy has a history of bringing his teams back. The team they're facing, Miami, has been dead last in defensive scoring in the fourth quarter. He makes them pay early in the fourth quarter, the first play of the fourth quarter. Josh Freeman is a big-time quarterback when you give him time and get open.
Antonio Bryant out for this week's game, so Stovall getting some run and paying big dividends here. 19-16.
Today's game is sponsored by 2010 Ram Trucks, giving tough a smarter name. Ram. By K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. And by Bud Light. With the just right taste that's not too heavy, not too light, the difference is drinkability.
And we've got a game here in Miami, 19-16, 3-point game. In case you've just walked in the room, Josh Freeman just hit Maurice Stovall on a 33-yard touchdown up the sideline. And we'll get a look at Ted Ginn Jr. Nice kick as Barth keeps on doing it. Barth's got 3 long field goals. And then he puts this one in for a touchback. Let's go take a look at the Winslow catch right before the end of the third quarter.
We look at this last drive, 2 big chunk plays. First of all, Kellen Winslow, we said they got to get him more involved. Well, they dial up this play. Great protection to give Freeman the chance, and he delivers to Kellen Winslow. Gets you a big chunk, and then Josh Freeman throws a dime to Maurice Stovall for a touchdown. The Dolphins have given up more 20-yard touchdown passes. Only one team's allowed more than them. That's been their Achilles heel as a defense.
And you can see Byron Leftwich saying good job and giving more advice to Freeman. Now Hennig goes deep. That one knocked away. Nice play there by Rondé Barber. Working on Ted Ginn Jr.
There you see it. The Dolphins defense has allowed, including that touchdown, the most fourth quarter points in the entire National Football League, and it really doesn't make sense. It's big plays like that because they possess the football as an offense more than anyone. Reason they're why they're 3-5, that's the reason.
2nd and 10. Make the draw, keep passing. The comeback, Best. He's got an easy first down as he's pushed out of bounds by Barber. Maybe that's a face mask. The Dolphins, without Ronnie Brown right now, injured his ankle a few series ago. His return is questionable. That is a big loss.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 36. 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
And really a big play by Devon Best right here. The momentum was starting to swing. Tony Sperano talking about Devon Best, who was an undrafted. Look at the double move. He stems his route, Ron. That's something that we picked up throughout film. This guy, for a second-year player, is incredibly crafty. He looks like an old vet out there in the way he sets people up. He runs incredible routes, and that's what makes him so valuable to this Miami Dolphins offense.
The team's leading receiver, 6 catches last week up in New England. That ball knocked away. Geno Hayes in the area going against Ricky Williams. Let's go down to Laura Oakman.
Ron, you talked about Ronnie Brown's ankle injury. He just limped off the field right now for tests. Anybody knows who follows Ronnie Brown or Cadillac Williams for that matter, anytime there's a leg injury, you kind of hold your breath. So the trainers were all over him right now. It is an ankle. He is questionable in the locker room getting tests.
Absolutely. Laura, thank you very much. You do hold your breath, especially guys that are integral parts of the offense, such as Ronnie Brown. And that's Ricky Williams. Chris Hovan on the tackle, a pickup of 1. In case you're just joining us, not a lot of scoring early on. Dolphins jumped up 9-6. And then things got really interesting right before the half. A controversial call on what was turned into we thought was a completion, but it was ruled a fumble and an interception. Picked up by Jason Taylor, turned into more points for the Dolphins. Intended for Ricky Williams, and it's incomplete. Penalty marker is down.
Got illegal contact.
And I try to do my best of reading Tony Corrente's lips. Illegal contact against Tampa Bay. Was I right? Was I close?
And that was a very critical stop for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had done a great job. I think they catch Rondé Barber in the slot. The little illegal contact on Janos, the tight end. It's a shame for the Bucs because they were off the field right there. That gives them a first down.
Well, both coaches talked about the importance of getting off the field in third down situations. First down give to Williams. Williams has had a couple big runs. Not much on that one. And Tampa Bay with 2 big penalties on this drive. The last one there takes it from being possible 4th down to first down for Miami.
Tony Sparano again called out this offensive line this week. They've done a tremendous job in answering the call without their best lineman, Justin Smiley. They're doing a nice job creating these holes for Ricky Williams.
2nd down and 6, rollout, knocked away. Nice play there. That's Tim Crowder. Crowder getting his first start as a Buck. Gets the hands up.
And Tim Crowder's done a really nice job. And, you know, he's what they call a freebie pickup. He was released by Denver after training camp. They bring in a guy like this, and all of a sudden he becomes pretty valuable when Styles G. White's out. Tim Crowder's really been a nice addition for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer defense. Has a sack with 22 tackles on the year.
3rd down and 6. And he flushed out the pocket, going deep, looking for Williams, and it's well covered. Aqib Talib is all over him. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I'll take that matchup all day. My corner on their running back.
Absolutely. And this Tampa Bay defense has done a great job on 3rd down. Now having Miami to 3 of 10. This team came in, Miami Dolphins, at 50% on 3rd down, 2nd in the league. They've got them down to 30%, and that's now all of a sudden they get the ball back down by 3 in this 4th quarter.
Talib with a big interception last week to help beat Green Bay. So they'll punt for field position here, try to kill it inside the 10. Fair catch called by Smith at about the 9 or 8. 31-yard punt, 3-point game here in Miami. Well, if Raheem Morris says Josh Freeman is what he is, then he'll be looking to come back again like he did last week against Green Bay. Showed a lot of poise in that come from behind victory. That's Derek Ward for a couple. And in the 4th quarter last week against the Green Bay Packers, Here's what his numbers look like. How you like that passer rating?
Yeah, you look at his numbers on the whole game, 14 for 31, only at 45%. But you look at the critical situations, 117 passer rating in the fourth quarter. This guy is a money player. He gets better when the pressure's on.
That's out of a possible 158. Second down and 6. That's Ward again.
Interesting play calling by Greg Olsen. All of a sudden they get their pass game going. And this is something Jeff Fain talked to us about. You know, we came into this year with the philosophy we have to run to set up the pass. He said, I think we need to go the other way, pass to set up the run. And, you know, I think you take this. They've passed. They loosened up that defense. Now all of a sudden you're in a 3rd and 3. Very manageable third down situation.
Manageable, right.
And now you trust your rookie quarterback. Very balanced for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throughout the day.
Stovall in short motion. He's coming across the field. Pocket collapses in and out of the hands of Kellen Winslow. I've seen Winslow catch those.
I guarantee you Kellen Winslow says, I've got to catch that. Josh Freeman stays in the pocket, steps up, delivers a nice ball to Kellen Winslow. And Kellen Winslow, some of the best hands in the NFL. You got to catch that one on a critical third down situation.
Good call. Olsen makes the right call, but they can't execute it. So backed up, they'll punt it away. This is Dirk Johnson. Devon Bess standing on his 43-yard line. Low line driver. These are usually return balls. Nice job of coverage by the Buccaneers and a better tackle. Look at Quincy Black hustling down to make the play as a starter on defense. 47-yard punt, a loss of 6. Derek Ward a little hot under the collar coming off the field after that last play. He might have thought that he was open and could have easily gotten the first down. 1st and 10. Williams, nope, check that. That's Lusaka Polite. Polite busts through with a nice run. Let's go back to that third down play.
Let's watch that last third down. Derek Ward right now is going to come across here. And yes, he is open. But this isn't an issue if Kellen Winslow catches the football. It's not Josh Freeman's fault. He throws a perfect ball. Ward thinks he's open, and he was open, but still, you don't, you know, he goes and gets in Josh Freeman's face. Josh trying to calm the situation. Derek upset.
The toss to Ricky Williams. Williams stutters his feet, picks a hole. He's across midfield.
And I like that about Josh Freeman. You know, Derek Ward came over, and Josh Freeman not afraid to bark in someone's face. Hey, Greg Olsen this week said he was barking at Michael Clayton in practice. Get in the darn huddle. This is my huddle. You know, and sometimes you need to step up. And we talk about leadership with him, and he said, I think it's clear your quarterback has to be one of your leaders. He's not afraid of that leadership. And Derek Ward, you know, he's a competitor too, but you got to be team first at this point. Kellen Winslow was hot. Should have caught the ball.
A pickup of 6 by Williams. They'll go back to Polite. Polite will be about 3-4 yards short of the first down. He picks up 2. Let's go out to Los Angeles for an update. Kurt Menefee.
The Redskins in Denver, and watch this nice run after the catch by Devin Thomas. A couple of spin moves. 27 yards on the play. It set up a Liddell Betts touchdown run, and with less than 3 minutes left, the Redskins trying to end that 4-game losing streak, lead at 24-17 over the Broncos. Ron, John, and Laura.
Boy, Denver's finding out that the first half and the second half are 2 entirely different seasons.
Well, they're trying to prevent their 3rd straight loss.
3rd and 2. They get it off just in time. The half roll, pull up, throw, and it's caught. Nice catch by Corey Sperry.
And how big has Corey Sperry come up today? He's already got a touchdown, another big catch. Look at Corey Sperry on a key 3rd down. They take away the top 2 options. You see Henny look to the right, nothing's open. Corey Sperry keeps working in the coverage, finds the void, and a beautiful catch by Corey Sperry.
Yeah, that ball doesn't move. He catches it past the ground. That's a good catch. So the Dolphins moving without Ronnie Brown, who left the game with an injured ankle. His return is questionable as they go back to Ricky Williams. And John, how does that now change Dan Hennings, the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins? How does that change his play call?
Well, with Ronnie Brown out, obviously it shifts towards Ricky Williams. But again, the onus still needs to be on that offensive line. What it does, it takes some of that wildcat away. You can't run the wildcat without
I don't know how many
Ronnie
times
Brown.
we've seen it since Ronnie's been out.
Absolutely, and so it hurts some of the versatility of this Miami offense. Ricky Williams, though, is a good runner. They should be able to function with him at running back.
We have not seen the wildcat, in fact, since Brown has been out. Nor have we seen the pistol formation. It puts Pat White back there. That's Ricky Williams again.
And one thing Dan Henning won't ever do is deviate from his belief system, which is running the football. Again, you talk about putting your team in manageable third down situation. They're only 4 of 10 on third down today. This Buccaneers defense has done a great job, but you put yourself in a 3rd-4, that's advantage offense really in the National Football League. We'll see if they can convert.
Dolphins starting to grind on the Bucs a little bit now at the time of the game where you want to get your defense off the field if you're Tampa Bay. 3rd and 4. More hammer time, and he's hammered. That's Rude on Williams. Williams lost yardage on that play.
Watch Barrett Rude. We're going to just see him here in the corner. Penetrate, get in that backfield, take on the block, and make a big-time play in the backfield. I don't know if I like the call if you're the Miami Dolphins. Chad Henne has been exceptional on third down this year. I think you have to put the ball in his hands. Instead, you try to go to Ricky Williams, and Barrett Rude makes you pay.
They mark his forward progress. They give him about 1. This is 45 yards out for Carpenter, and Carpenter is clean with it. So a good drive, and it ends up 3 more points for the Dolphins. You know, the numbers there don't say a whole lot, and he does have the 4 fumbles, but he's moving the ball down the field, and he's got the team in the game.
Yeah, and he's exceptionally poised, and we're going to see that poise come into play right here. Again, having the ball in the 4th quarter.
And here goes Clifton Smith. As long as you've got Clifton Smith, you've got a chance to blow it open at any time.
Boy, with these 2 returners, Laura hit it in the open. With these guys in the ball in their hands, it looks like they can explode at any time.
And the second half, Ronnie Brown injured the ankle. As I've already said, his return is questionable. And that led to some big plays right before the end of the 3rd quarter. And then the touchdown by Maurice Stobel, 33 yards out. And earlier in the game, the Miami Dolphins missed an extra point. I said it would come back to haunt them. Well, they're up by 6. A touchdown would beat you at this point. So that could loom big. 8-play drive, 40 yards, capped off by the 45-yard field goal a series ago by the Dolphins. They put it back on the ground, does Tampa Bay with Cadillac Williams.
And we've seen the last couple series, again, we talked about Jeff Fain talking about we got to pass the ball to set up the run. They've been incredibly balanced today. Going back to some of that power run, Cadillac Williams getting behind the pads, delivering the blow on Gabriel Wilson. Nice 8-yard gain on 1st down.
A manageable 2nd and 1. Ooh. I believe Williams got the 1st down, but you heard the scream there. He got bent over backwards. Remember Williams a couple of years ago coming back after that major knee reconstruction. He's had a long, hard road to health.
You watch Cadillac right there at the end getting bent back, and with a guy who's blown out 2 patella tendons, you'd never like to see that. It's quite a story. You know, it's almost historical. I think Correll Buckhalter out at Denver is the only other player to come back from the injury he's had. 2 patella tendons blowout, and he's running well this year.
Ran well enough for a 1st down. The long out complete. Winslow holds on to this one. Look at the moves. Gets out of bounds, and I believe he got the 1st down. Now that is some running. And a game summary there. You look at Freeman on the day in the 2nd half. Pick that rating up.
Again, he's a money player. Miami starting to take control on the running game, but you lose Ronnie Brown. He fumbles. That was a big play. He both fumbled and lost him to injury. And now the ball's in Josh Freeman's hands.
11 yards on that reception. Williams trying the right side.
And Ron, you know what I like about that last play? Earlier, the third down, we saw Derek Ward get in his face. He doesn't get flustered by that, and in fact, he goes right back to Kellen Winslow, who dropped the third down pass.
Right.
He's going to come right. That's what good quarterbacks do. They show confidence in their good players by going right back to him in a critical situation. He throws it out to Kellen Winslow. He makes Jason Taylor miss in the flat. You got to like the decision making by a young Josh Freeman.
2nd down and 7. The pocket looks clean. Time to throw, and another completion. And Winslow continues to be the man as they move inside the Dolphin 30-yard line.
You watch this offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting to step up and exert their will. No big pocket for Josh Freeman. He told us in the meeting, Ron, sometimes you have to not think about it and just sit back there and throw it hard. It's exactly what he did right there to Kellen Winslow. He's really starting to get in a rhythm, both Josh Freeman and Kellen Winslow. Most of that work coming in the second half.
He goes over 100 yards coming in this year, and a trade from the Cleveland Browns. He more or less has reinvented himself. Look at this, a little trickeration there. Freeman still has the ball, going backside to Williams. He comes up with it, but it's incomplete. Aiken Adele, the linebacker, running step for step.
And Ron, when teams come up with plays like that, throwbacks, they roll right. They've seen something on film. They knew they were going to get Cadillac Williams one-on-one with the linebacker. Aiken Adele does a nice job in coverage, gets his hands on it. Nice play standing up in coverage by Aiken Adele.
Yeah, doing a nice job of running step for step for Williams down the sideline. 2nd and 10. Back to the ground. That's Ward. Ward still trying to keep it going. He picks up 4. You're going to have a 3rd down and about 6 yards.
I think if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, your two guys that have done a nice job of getting open are Kellen Winslow and Sammy Strotter. Look for them to throw to one of them. Sammy Strotter's a tough guy to deal with in the slot, and Kellen Winslow has been really doing a lot of good work here in the second half. Here's Winslow, here's Strotter.
Throwing to the corner, Stovall loses it. He had it, couldn't come down with it. And that was the exact type of play that they won the game on last week against Green Bay, going to the corner of the end zone, but Stovall couldn't make it work. Nice move.
Stovall, Josh Freeman puts it exactly where it needs to be put. Vontae Davis does a great job competing all the way to the ground. Stovall needs to make that catch. Raheem Morris showing faith in his young quarterback, going for it here on 4th down.
It is 4-down territory, 4th and 6. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. They flushed them out of the pocket. It looked as though the coverage was fairly solid.
See the pressure come from the right side. Cameron Wake staying after Josh Freeman. Good coverage by the Miami Dolphins. This Miami Dolphins defense that's had such a hard time stopping people in the 4th quarter does a nice job right there of getting off the field. Again, Ron, I think you got to go back to that Stovall. The ball's in his hands. You expect your receivers to come down with the ball right there.
And on the flip side of it, John, when you draft a kid number 25 overall as a corner, at some point in the season, you need him to make a play like Vontae Davis did. Toss. Williams with a cut. He slashes to the 25-yard line, and that is the 2-minute warning. 6-point game here in Miami.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by AT&T. Your world delivered.
Under the 2-minute warning, 6-point game here in Miami. The Dolphins with 3 timeouts. Tampa Bay with 2. The Dolphins trying to put this thing on ice. 2nd down and 7
Ball
movement.
start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty remains, 2nd down.
It's Garner. So 1:57 to play. They're looking at a 2nd down and 12.
And critical mistake by Nate Garner right there. You know, you're about ready to close this game out. Tampa needs, they have their 2 timeouts. They can't stop the clock. You jump off sides, you make it tough.
To give to Williams. Williams in the first half, 7 carries for 13 yards. He picked it up in the second. 11 for 57. Don't forget, coming up next, it's a rivalry that dates back to the Ice Age, 2 of the NFL's most storied franchises. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers once again do battle at Lambeau Field. The Cowboys look to keep themselves atop the NFC East, while the Packers will try to get above 500 to keep themselves in the playoff race as they chase the Minnesota Vikings. That's coming up next, and a look at the 2 quarterbacks. Tony Romo keeping it hot.
2 guys going really different directions.
Yeah,
3 weeks
Rodgers
ago, everybody was saying, what's wrong with the Cowboys? Now they're hot. And 3 weeks ago, hey, this Aaron Rodgers is great. He's struggling. They got to keep him upright. Now the Bucs doing a great job stopping Miami. They've got 152 with another timeout. They make the stop here. They're going to have one more chance to go win this game.
This is a 3rd and 7, a chance for the Bucs defense to get off the field. Throw intercepted. Quincy Black. His first of the season, and a huge mistake by Chad Henne.
What a change of events. Quincy Black right here covering the fullback, Lasaka Polite, to the flat. Chad Henne never sees him. He's looking at Devon Best here on the outside.
Oh, he threw
Actually,
it behind
Brian
him,
Hartline throws it behind, never sees Quincy Black. Quincy Black demonstrating great hands with the interception.
I mean, that's a great interception, because that's a ball that you have to have. We don't need it close.
Absolutely. I'm surprised they even threw the ball. I thought they'd run it. Brandon Fields has been punting well, played the field position game, but here we go.
2nd chance for Josh Freeman and the Bucs. 1 timeout left. He'll do it himself. He's got the first and out of bounds.
Josh Freeman, we've talked about it all day long. Big, strong guy, good in the pocket, but also has that escapability. If nothing's there downfield, if the coverage is good, he's got the ability to tuck it down and run. They're playing trail coverage. That's what you're taught as an NFL quarterback. Get down the field. He does a great job of picking up the first down.
Picks up 14 as well. Remember, earlier in the game, in case you're just joining us, earlier in the game, the Dolphins botched an extra point. We thought it would come back to haunt. Well, it's coming back to haunt. Complete. Winslow, he's been the money man.
And if you're Tampa, you just used your last timeout, excuse me. You've got plenty of time. You've got 1:29. You just called your last timeout. Plenty of time. Time is not an issue. The issue is controlling that football, getting it into the end zone. And remember the missed extra point that, Ron, you talked about. It's going to come back to hurt Miami at some point. All of a sudden, this is a 6-point game. Tampa puts it in the end zone, extra point, they go ahead.
So Miami called the timeout, 2 left. 1 left for Tampa Bay.
Josh Freeman again on this drive and throughout the second half demonstrating his poise under pressure. Last week it was a 4th down, 4th and 4 connection to Sammy Strotter that won the game for him. He looks incredibly poised. Miami, someone's got to step up and make a play for this Miami defense.
The give to Williams. They're going to try to run it in. Williams keeps his feet moving down to the 1-yard line. And more importantly, that's a first down.
I think
another timeout called by Miami.
I think a great call by Greg Olsen. Look at him spread out this Miami D. Everyone's thinking pass. Instead, right up the gut with Cadillac Williams. And watch Cadillac Williams at the end of this run drive his legs. This is what this young kid's been known for, running through tackles, continuing to drive all the way down there. It appears as if his knee's down.
Well, he thought he was in, but it's where the ball is when the knee touches, and it looked to be at the 1-yard line.
Tony Sperano now on the other side using his timeout to try to save some time if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go in the end zone.
And the blocked extra point is the key play of the game thus far, because we thought it would come back to haunt. Early in the first quarter, after a nice drive, around the corner, Donald Penn, Donald Penn, the offensive lineman, blocks the extra point. First and goal. And they've got a lineman in the backfield, and that's a touchdown. Cadillac Williams, he jumps over the top. Roy Miller was in the backfield as the lineman, the D lineman. He paves the way, and it's a tie game. A late marker on the play.
Again, great second effort from Cadillac Williams on that run. He was stopped before he got to the goal line, kept moving his feet. Touchdown. Watch Cadillac Williams lined up at the halfback.
At the conclusion of the play, the touchdown is scored. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Tampa Bay, number 82. This will be enforced on the kickoff.
They get Kellen Winslow for unsportsmanlike, and that is a critical mistake. You've got 113. It gives them 15 yards with Ted Ginn, the #1 kick returner in the NFL. Critical mistake. Those yards are precious. And just when things start going right, you do something like that.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's a tie game. They still got to make this extra point to take the lead. Let's not sleep on that as Raheem Morris tries to get everybody back on the same page on the sideline. Barth to go ahead. It's clean, no flags. Buccaneers take the lead by 1 with 1:14 to play.
Ron, we've talked a lot about the poise and presence of a young Josh Freeman. Let's look at the other side. Chad Henne. We'll see now what he's made of. Does he have the poise? You just threw a big pick. Can you bounce back and lead your team down to a score?
The first quarter, after a nice drive by the Dolphins, the blocked extra point.
It's Donald Penn stretching his big paw up there.
And just a few seconds ago, if you're just joining us, on a third down, the interception, Henne to Black, leads to this. With Miller in the backfield, the great second effort by Cadillac, and look at the energy by Raheem Morris. And how about Josh Freeman? Josh Freeman played under Raheem Morris's staff at Kansas State for 1 year back in 2006. When Raheem Morris had a chance to draft this kid, he said, you know something, I'm not going to say a word to anyone in the staff room. I don't want to influence anybody, but I knew all along this was the guy I wanted.
Well, he had beat Texas twice when Raheem was one time when he was there, and he said, John, we don't win a game without Josh Freeman at Kansas State with our talent level. But now look at where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are kicking off from because of that unsportsmanlike penalty. Critical mistake by Kellen Winslow.
They squib it, and that's going to get some of that penalty yardage back. Ginn Jr. has it and goes down. Down at the 15-yard line. Great coverage by the Bucs special teams. And a quick game summary. Freeman, 15 for 27. Winslow came on late. I think that's the key to the passing offense.
That was the key. One catch at halftime. We said during the halftime break, they've got to get Kellen Winslow involved. And Kellen Winslow does get involved, and then he just dodges a bullet by them mishandling that kick. All of a sudden, what could have been a real bad field position, Connor Barth squibs one, and it gets way back there.
We'd like to welcome those of you watching the Rams-Panthers game. We have got a 1-point game.
And again for Miami, plenty of time. All you need is a field goal.
Throw inside, incomplete. A late marker goes down.
Pass interference, defense, number 54. Automatic first down.
Geno Hayes.
Watch Geno Hayes right here, isolated on Hanos coming across the middle. You're going to see him hold him right there. Again, come with the tuck there. The tug, I thought it was holding rather than pass interference anyway. Big gain for the Miami Dolphins.
And a big catch, Devon Bess. He's inbounds.
Miami going to spike the football. They still have that one timeout left.
They spike it, 1-point game. And obviously a field goal can win it. And looking back, the Dolphins started out hot. The Wildcat offense got it going. Right before half, a controversial play. They didn't give him the interception on a touchdown, but later the Dolphins got in for 6. And Ronnie Brown limps off in the third quarter, injured ankle. And it opens the door for the Buccaneers, and that is just a few minutes ago. The interception by Henne.
Buccaneers have some substitution issues right there and have to waste their last time out.
Our audience just joining us from the Saints-St. Louis Rams game. The Saints pulling that one off just barely. Here's a look at our summary.
Josh Freeman, again, for the second week in a row, brings his team back. Last week it was 11 points against Green Bay. This week they're down 10 at the fourth quarter, and they cap it off and go ahead with a Cadillac Williams touchdown here deep in the fourth quarter. But now Chad Henne driving his Miami Dolphins right back. And again, all they need is a field goal. 23 seconds with one timeout left for Miami.
Again, Williams, he's trying to finish it right here. They got to get out on the ball or call timeout, and they call timeout. 27 yards.
It's a 30-second timeout.
For those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment, you will be leaving this game, and we will be switching you to the start of your game. We've got 14 seconds left, 1-point game, and this is to win it. Carpenter.
And I tell you, not a bad option. Ronnie Brown goes down. You've got Ricky Williams back there in the backfield. Ricky Williams playing outstanding football this year. Pays dividends with a great run right here. Breaking tackles. Escapes Ryan Sims' tackle. Geno Hayes with a great hustle effort to get him down.
So they bring on Carpenter. He's 3 for 3 today, one long of 49. This one is 25 yards out to win it.
Remember, Donald Penn already blocked one today.
No flags. And they take the lead with 10 seconds left.
Job of creating the pocket by that protection team for the Miami Dolphins, and Carpenter drives it through. Ricky Williams subbing in for Ronnie Brown. Raheem Morris just crushed. They felt like they had this one in their grasp. By all accounts, they do, and the defense can't hold up.
10 seconds left. Don't want to close the door just yet, but they would need something very special to happen fast. And one thing special that could happen fast is a kick return.
You do have Clifton Smith back there, and he's a Pro Bowl returner from last year.
Five plays, 77 yards. Drive started on the 16.
Ron, coming into today, all the Miami Dolphins talked about, they needed that killer instinct. They needed to finish people. They made it interesting, but it looks like they are able to finish the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here today.
This is Smith. Smith with a hole. And 5 seconds are left. A nice return close to the 30-yard line.
I tell you, Tony Sparano, he talked about changing the culture, and he talked about teams thinking you can win, but we got to get to the point where we know we're going to win. And again, they made it interesting. And I don't know if they knew they were going to win, but the bottom line, they got to win. They're going to get back to 4 and 5 now with a game coming this Thursday against Carolina. Joey Porter talked to us, who didn't play today, about getting back to 500 in a real hurry. They're going to have that opportunity.
Last shot. They'll have to do a couple trick throws here. And that's the end of it. Jeremiah Bell puts the exclamation point on it. And that is it here in Miami. The final 25-23 Dolphins come back with a win. Stay tuned for the second game of our Fox doubleheader. The Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers coming up right after these messages. So long, everybody.